Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Mariam, and I am your chef for tonight. They wanted me on MasterChef, but I said I'm too busy. I'm with Rotherham United, so you stuck with me tonight. So basically, today we're doing something which I hope you've all got the ingredients for. So we're making kebabs, and kebabs are so versatile. They can be used in sandwiches, they can be used in wraps, they can be used as a starter to a main meal. You can have it as a side dish on your rice. They're basically homemade burgers, and the best thing about it is that they're the healthier version, because the traditional versions were fried in oil, deep fried in oil. So we're doing the grilled version tonight, and we're substituting the flour for some breadcrumbs. Now the thing with the breadcrumbs is you can add as many or as little as you want, and if you find that your mixture, when you add your bread, the breadcrumbs, if you find that it gets really thick, the mixture gets really thick, you can just add another egg to it to try and soften it up a little bit. So the way that I normally do it is I'm going to just switch the camera around. Oh, hang on. So normally, imagine this, well, this is your bread. You can use, what do you call that bit? We call it the fat bread. What do you call it?
Crust.
The crust. That sounds right. So you can do it by hand. So if you wanted to, you could take it and crumble it into a bowl and end up with some really tiny, tiny breadcrumbs like that. So you could do something like that. But to make life easier, if you've got one of these things or a blender of some sort, you can just bung it in there and that'll turn it into the breadcrumbs. So do you want me to show you how I would do mine? Shall I just quickly show you how I would do mine? Has everybody got like a grater if you haven't got one of these blenders?
Yeah.
Something that you can crumble with. So you can do it by hand if you want to. Laiba, come here, darling. So you're literally just taking it in your hand. It might take a while, but if you can, just hold that for me, sweetheart. Right, so just point it wherever. That's it. So you can crumble it with your hands.
Are you alright? You've been crying?
Can everybody see that? So you've got your breadcrumbs.
Oh my God, show this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, stick your thumbs up if you can. Is that all right? So can everybody grind their breadcrumbs? So if you take about 4 slices, and either do it by hand or chuck it in one of the machines and just quickly make your breadcrumbs. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Take a few minutes.
Mariam,
Yeah.
don't know if this helps, but I found the perfect technique. You ready? Watch this. So you do put your hands like this. If you do this,
oh yeah.
and keep doing it, you get a bit messy, but ultimately,
that's a good idea. That, and thank you. So just use your hands. Get your hands going. See, you're working on your biceps as well now. What more can you ask? Food and exercise.
I'm not doing too good with these breadcrumbs.
I've done my Mariam, look.
Oh, you've done yours. Fantastic.
I thought we were supposed to have them ready, so I did them beforehand.
Oh, okay. Perhaps I should have said that, but I wasn't sure if everybody would have a blender, so I thought I'll show them how they can do it by hand.
Yeah, no, you did right. You did right. It's good. Because sometimes your blender, if it stops working all of a sudden, you can still make the kebab.
That's it. So I'm just going to quickly.
So last week, myself and Aunt cooked, and I kind of just talked and stuff. And I'm aware that this week I'm cooking as well, and I can't really multitask. So if anybody's done the breadcrumbs and they want to take over and have a chat with Mariam, then
yeah, that's absolutely fine. I was thinking that when we put the kebabs in the oven, they should take about 10-15 minutes. We can have a chat then, and if anybody's got any questions that they've like any questions you've ever wanted to ask, I'm pretty open-minded. I'm happy to take questions, whether it's about food or whether it's about whatever. You know, if it's about, because obviously this is Interfaith Week. If you wanted to ask me about why I'm a Muslim or what I do as a Muslim, I'm happy to talk about that as well. I just don't want to bore you.
Perfect.
So, how are we doing on the breadcrumbs? Are we getting there?
How many do we need?
About 4 slices. For one, if you've got 1 kg of meat, you need about 4 slices.
We have the ingredients, Mariam, so people have got about half of that. Because
Right.
I think he said with the full ingredients, it's about 30.
Yeah. So you've got a half. So has everybody got a half a kilo? Then if that's the case, just use maybe 2 slices, possibly 3.
Yeah.
Miriam, do we need to light our ovens while we're waiting?
That's a good idea, that, Tyra. Thank you. I put mine on earlier on, so I won't forget, but I forgot to tell you guys.
I've just done mine as well, because mine takes a bit of time to heat up, so I thought I'd just
Yeah.
remind anyone else who wants to turn theirs on.
Yeah. So even when you're doing it by hand, you can do a pretty good job. You don't necessarily need a blender.
I've got the cheese grater out.
I tell you what I find with the breadcrumbs, the staler the bread, the better the crumbs. So you know when it's really fresh bread, it goes really soft. So you don't get the same effect. So if the bread is going out of date and or maybe a day out of date, they still keep, and you could what you find is the bread's not as soft and it's easier to crumble. And it tastes decent as well, so it don't really affect the taste.
Mariam, are we putting the oven, or is it the grill, or what's the instructions on that?
If you can stick the grill on, put it on at high temperature so it's nice and warmed up. If you haven't got a grill and you've just got an oven, that works as well.
Does it matter which one then? Sorry, are we having oven or grill?
Which one's easiest for you, Jackie? Which one would you prefer?
It don't matter, I can use either.
Right, stick your grill on then. Let's do it in the grill.
Right.
Ovens are quite big to warm up, aren't they? So I think grills are better.
Okay, sorted.
And in the oven, how long will it take in the oven roughly?
So if you had it on gas mark 200, it's about the same time as the grills. The thing with these is you can, if you keep an eye on them, so if you keep them in, put them in the oven at gas mark 200, approximately 200. To begin with, we're going to start off really high because we want to cook them quickly, but they won't burn because there's so much moisture in them that they don't tend to burn as quickly. So when you find that one side is cooked, you would flip them over quickly and cook the other side, and then just keep doing that until you feel that both sides are cooked. And because it's mince, it'll cook a lot quicker than, say, a steak or a chunky piece of meat. Right, is everybody okay with their breadcrumbs?
Yeah.
Right? Am I okay to move? Am I okay to move on?
It looks that way, yeah. I think people are putting the thumbs up, Mariam.
Okay, wonderful. Right. So I've got a kg here, so it's probably going to be, because I've got to feed an army that's called my children. So I've got a kg here because whatever's left over, I'm going to stick in the freezer, and I'll show you how later on. So with your mince, you've got your mince in your bowl, right? And what you then need to do is crack your eggs. So because we're doing half the ingredients, just crack 1 egg. I'm going to do 2, but if you can do 1.
Are you coming back at weekend? Go and see your daddy quickly.
So, have we got our eggs open?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you say, Mariam? 2 eggs?
Well, you're using half the ingredients, so I would use one.
1 egg to start.
Yeah. Okay, is everybody with me?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So now it's just this recipe is really simple. It's just a case of going round and putting the items in. So I'm gonna speak as though I'm working from half a kg with what you guys have got, but it may seem like I'm putting more in because I am actually putting more in. But I didn't want to confuse you, so I'm gonna follow your recipe. So what you need is, now normally if this was a full kg of chicken mince, I would have said take 2 handfuls. So that's 1 handful, right? I would normally say take 2, but because you've got half the ingredients, I want you to take 1 handful of coriander and just bung it in. So you've done your egg, chuck your coriander in. How are we doing? Are we okay?
Yep.
Coriander in.
Coriander.
Now, take your onion. Now your onion, you know, you don't have to chop it really finely, because when it's in the oven and it's cooking, the fat from the chicken will actually melt the onion, so you won't even feel as though there's that much onion in it. So for you guys, take 1 handful, like a good handful, and then half a handful, so like 1.5 handfuls of onion. I mean, for me, the moisture, let me start again. The burgers, if there's more onion in it, they're a lot softer. Right, is onion in?
Yeah.
Okay. Ketchup. Have you got your ketchup?
They should have, yeah.
Right, I'm going to say to you guys, just a good strong squirt. And if you haven't got a squirty bottle, I'd just put a couple of tablespoons. So that's your tablespoon. Oh, hang on. There, not a teaspoon, tablespoon of ketchup if you've got a jar of ketchup. If you've got a squirty bottle, just give it a good squirt and stick it in.
Yeah, I think everybody should have a squirt bottle, Mariam.
Right.
Unless they
Give
use
it
their own.
a good squirt. And you know, another tip, you know, if you ever run out, you're making these kebabs again, and you run out of ketchup, you know what's really nice and actually works well is, you know, the sweet chili sauce.
Yeah. That
works just as well. It gives it a nice little kick to it, so it's nice. It don't burn your mouth off, but you've still got the sweet.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the guys should have provided you with something called curry powder. Have you got a powder that's brown?
We've provided them with these, Mariam.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, wonderful. So your guys, I don't know if you can see this, right? I'm putting it under the light. Now, this stuff is homemade, and you can see the difference in colour. Have a look at yours. What you'll find is yours is a lot lighter. But what you find is, especially with a lot of Asian families, it's far cheaper and far better to blend your own spices. So we have, I mean, my colour, I imagine, is darker than what you've been given. Anne, can you show us your powder?
Yeah, mine's really more yellowy. It's got like it's got more turmeric in or something like that.
Yeah.
How do you make that then, Mariam?
So this is a blend of different spices. So in here you've got to make the powder soft, you'd put things like mustard oil in it to blend it all. So we've got turmeric in here, we've got chili powder in here, paprika as it's known. We'll have cumin, fennel, different kinds of things in there to give it that authentic, you know, authentic taste. So that's why you find curries made at home are far better than in the shops, because the thing with the shop products is they bulk it out with things like turmeric, just so that they get more profit out of it. Whereas when we're at home, you can see the difference. It's a much darker, stronger color. So you guys only need 1 spoon, and I put tablespoon because I'm not saying, if you just look, if I was going to do a heap spoon, I would have done this, right? Not a heap spoon. Just take a good spoon there. Can you see? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Is that all right? So take a good glug of a tablespoon, but not really heap, so it's overflowing.
And just sprinkle it in.
And just sprinkle it over. Just gonna put another one in because I've got more. Right now, are we all done with the chili powder? With the curry powder, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now come to your salt. Because you've only got 1/2 kg, please don't use a tablespoon. Use a teaspoon. And obviously, if you're trying to cut down, what you find is there's salt in bread, there's salt in wraps, you know, there's some salad dressings that has salt in it. So even if you put less in the kebabs, there'll be other things to make it up, so you can always add it. I always say, when you're using salt, always go less, because you can always add more later on. But if you put too much in, it's really difficult to get it out. So just go steady with the salt. So a teaspoon is nice. I'm going to have to put a tablespoon in because I've got double the ingredients, you see. So just ignore me. Right. So our salt's in. Oh, who's that gorgeous girl? Tyra, is that your granddaughter? Has she come to help her grandma?
She wants to come and see what Nanny's doing.
Oh, she could be my little helper.
Oh, you'll soon get rid of her. You'll say, can you take her home, please? Well, you go, Mum.
Okay, so have everybody got the salt done, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, now the fun bit. Get your breadcrumbs. You need a good handful. So take a good handful. For the amount that you've got, I would say 1.5 handfuls. So take a good handful and just sprinkle it over. Right, are we all in?
Yeah.
Breadcrumbs in? Okay, now time to get dirty. Stick your hand in and start mixing. Give it a good welling. Get your hands right in there.
Can I just double check, Mariam? Was that just 1 handful or 1.5 that we should?
1.5 handfuls of the breadcrumbs.
Right now.
If you find that your mixture is runny, even though you put 1.5 breadcrumbs in, go back and put a few more breadcrumbs in. You can do that. That's absolutely fine. And if, like me, you like a lot of onion, there's no reason why you can't add a little bit more onion. So give it a good mix. Until every part of it's mixed up. Really get your hands in there and get all that meat mixed up. Really nice. All the last bits right at the bottom of the bowl. You know, like when you're baking a cake and you make the mixture and you find the mixture's stuck right at the bottom. You just need to make sure it's all mixed through nicely.
Mariam.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask, where did your love for this dish come from?
I suppose, unfortunately, I'm a foodie. So I'll tell you why I love this dish so much. I've got 4 kids, right? And some are teenagers, some are a bit younger. And it's one of those things, when we've made a batch like this, whatever's left over, I will put it in some, I'll make the patties and put them in some cellophane, and I'll stick them in the freezer. And when the kids are hungry and there's nothing made, or if I've been busy working or whatever, I can just take a couple of out and put them in the grill or make them in the pan, and they're fantastic. And then you have a ready-made meal without it being shop bought. It's homemade, it's decent, it's healthy. And so that's why I love this dish. I think it's just one of those dishes that goes with everything. And the other thing as well is if you get unexpected guests and you want to impress and you want to show that, you know, in about 5 minutes you made this 4-course meal, stick these out. They work a treat, you know. Get yourself some brownie points. So that's why I love these kebabs. So you should have...
Go on, sorry.
No, sorry, I was just going to say, you should have something that looks in the region of that, similar, with all your mixture.
Yeah.
How are we doing, people?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you still with me?
I'm with you.
Lovely. Mazdak, how are you doing? Brilliant. Excellent. That looks good. You got it all mixed.
Sorry.
Yep, great stuff. Right. Has anybody else got the camera turned on that I've missed? No. Okay.
No, we're good.
Right. Wonderful. See, mine's darker in colour because I've used the homemade curry powder, but yours is exactly the same as mine. It's just that. So I'm just going to quickly wash my hands. I'll be back in two ticks.
Mine.
And I'll just check in with Ant because, as we mentioned last week, Ant's vegan, so I'm interested to know what your spin is, Ant, on this dish.
I've not done much difference this week. I've just gone and bought some vegan mince, so it's not much different. The brand I've used it was on sale actually. It was 90p.
Hey, bargain.
Meatless Farm Company, so it's basically, it just looks the exact same. It's just
and you know what, Anne? It'll probably taste the same as well.
Yeah, as well. Like vegan mince is always really good. They've never had really any issues with it. I have made a mixture with an egg in it. The reason being, I told my mum about the cooking classes and she sounded really intrigued. So she's a bit like you, Mariam. She's a big foodie. So I said I'd make her some and bring her some over. So.
Oh. Right. I'm going to make some space and then we can give you tissue, sweetheart. So we'll get these in the oven and then we can have a good chat. We can have a good natter. So I'm going to show you a trick that a lot of Pakistani mums use. I don't know if you've got any cling film handy, or if you haven't, have you got one of these handy, like a paper bag? You know the sandwich bags?
Yeah.
Has anybody got a sandwich bag handy?
Yeah.
I've got some cling film.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, be all right, yeah.
Yeah. Cling film should do it. So what you need is a bowl of water. So you get a bowl of water. You need your tray for what you're going to put your kebabs in. So I'm using, just because I think you know, forget washing up tonight. I'm using these foil trays. If you've got a glass tray or a foil tray, that's more than enough. If you've got a non-stick pan that you want to use, you could use that. The thing about baking trays is it will stick to the bottom and then they won't come off and then they'll be really misshaped and you don't want that. So something as easy as this, just taking one of these, a foil tray if you've got one. I'll give you some time to put yourself together. So you need a bowl of water, a little food bag if you've got it, or cling film if you haven't, and a tray to put your stuff in.
So food bag rather than cling film, because I've got both.
Yeah. Get the food bag because that'll work better.
Okay.
Oh, and also what you need is just a flat saucer. You need a little saucer. And any saucer will do, just a saucer. I'm telling you, what I'm going to share with you is top secret. All the Asians mum know and do this, because who's got time to keep all the technical stuff in the kitchen? It just takes up space. Whereas this, it takes up no space. You don't need any gadgets. You don't need any molds. You don't need any shapers. You just do it all by hand.
Okay.
Where are we? Okay. How are we doing? Is everybody okay?
Yeah.
All good.
Yeah? Rubina, are you still with us? I can't see you, but I hope you're with us. Ask any questions if you've got any. I'm just going to take it a little bit slow.
I'm still here.
Okay. Okay, great stuff. Right. So now take your mixture. Take a little dollop like this. So something as probably the size of a golf ball, right? So you've got that. Take a dip of water. Dip your fingers in the water and just mold it in a circle. Play with it. You need to caress it a little bit. And then you end up with a nicely shaped little golf ball.
Yeah.
Right? So are we all playing with our balls? I knew I'd put my foot in it. I'm sorry. No pun intended.
Mariam, you know I don't like balls. Is that too big? Is that too big, or can you see mine?
Okay. No, that's perfect, Trudy. That's perfect. So what you do is you take your ball and put it inside your food bag. Just lay it down like that. Put it inside. That's it. Now cover it with the bag so it's enfolded inside your bag. Right?
Yeah.
Are we there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then take your plate, remember the plate, and just squash it down. Squash it right down till you feel it can't go anymore. And then the big reveal, this is what you end up with, a burger.
Mine looks a lot flatter, but...
Mine is.
Yeah, you can make them, you don't have to press it right down. You can make them a little bit thicker if you want to. Okay. We're going to have another go at this. If you feel that it's not right, do it again. Start again. Make the bowl, mold it, pop it back in the bag, and then make it less thinner. Let it be a little bit thick. So you've got a meaty burger.
And then do we pop it in our tray, or am I
Yes.
getting this?
So if you take your palm of your left hand and lift it up and let the burger just fall onto your palm.
Yeah, got that.
Yeah, like this. So it's on the palm of your hand. Take your tray.
Yeah.
And just bob it in. Bob it on the tray. And that's what you end up with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah? So that's your kebab on your tray. Now, depending on the size of your tray, some of you might get 4 on, some of you might get 6 on. And I'm still here if anybody wants to ask anything. So I'm just going to continue making my 6 so I can get them in the oven.
Okay.
I've got a question, Mariam.
Mariam, can I just show you a tip how I do mine?
Yeah, go on, love. That'd be brilliant.
So what I do is I get a carrier bag and I put I make the balls, put them all on, and then I'll get my plate and I'll put the carrier bag, the little food bag on the plate like that.
Oh, fantastic.
Put a bit of water on and then I'll just press them so that I can do a lot together. Do you get me?
Oh, wow. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
As you can see, I've got my Aldi carrier bag underneath.
So if you're in a rush and you need to make quite a few, that's the best way to do it. And that's brilliant. You learn something every day. I've just learned something there as well.
Oh, good.
See, that'd save a lot of time, especially if you're making a lot of those.
Yeah, like we do in our family.
Yeah, exactly. When you're feeding the 5,000.
That's it.
You get a nice shape with these, and you don't need a mold or anything. So you're not storing all the gadgets and things, because I find that you end up having a gadget for every little thing. Whereas with these, you can use chicken mince, you can use lamb mince, you can use the Crohn's mince if you want to be meat free. There's lots of ways of making these.
I'm actually doing it with turkey mince today.
Oh, that's even healthier.
No, there was no chicken mince left for me.
Oh.
Is there a country where these originate from, or where they're kind of popular, Mariam?
You know, the thing about all foods is everybody wants to claim that it's theirs. And I looked at this. So in Bangladesh, they have kebabs. They call them kebabs. And in India, they have kebabs. And there's various versions of it. Pakistan's got his version. Afghanistan's got the chapal kebab, which is very similar again. So the idea, the essence of it, it comes from South Asia, but it's adapted in every different country. So if you were making an English burger, you obviously wouldn't add the spices, but the essence is the same, isn't it? The ingredients are similar. You'd add your eggs and all the rest of it. And that's the difference. So I've got my 6 ready to go in the oven now. So I'm sticking mine in the oven.
Okay, so mine's going in then.
I'm just going to quickly do another tray while I'm here. How's everybody feeling?
Yeah, mine are in.
Oh, wonderful. We're cooking on gas today.
We are. I don't know what they look like when they come out, but hey-ho. I'm sure they'll taste lovely.
Oh, I hope they do, because, you know, you panic, don't you? You think, I wonder if it's going to turn out all right. But we've done it before and it's worked, so fingers crossed. What I found with these is if you use the water to just soften them slightly, they prevents it from burning, so you don't get that burnt taste like you would if you'd made them on a barbie. So it's good to add a little bit of water to it. Just take that out for me. I'm going to wash mine.
Did everybody enjoy their shakalaka from last week?
Did?
Yeah, was it good?
We all ate it.
Okay, so how are we doing?
All right.
Back in the drawer. Let's put a stop. Has everybody got theirs in the oven now?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the other drawer. In the other drawer.
Have a look, Mazdak.
Oh, in the other
You're
drawer.
muted still, Mazdak. We can't hear you. I think he's trying to ask you a question.
Okay, so I finished it. Should I put in the oven, right?
Yes, please. Yeah, put it in the oven. Gas mark 200.
Okay. How many minutes?
Well, we're gonna watch them as we're going along, because what you'll find is they'll cook as we're talking.
All right.
So you won't need to put a timer on it. I'm just gonna turn my. Right, here we are. So while they're in the oven and they're cooking, I'm just gonna find a. So you need something like this, a spatula, or something to just kind of flip your burgers over. So if you've got something like this, that will help you scoop them up. Yep, that's it. Yeah, whatever you make your eggs with or whatever. Just so that we can, when they've cooked on the top, we can flip them over and cook the other side.
Right.
Yeah, just take this in the other one. Yeah, yeah. So how's everybody feeling so far?
All right.
Yeah, great. So what are you planning on eating yours with? Have you got any salad or any burger baps or
Yeah, this
slices
is salad.
of bread? Right.
Salad and also
I've got pizza breads and salad.
Wonderful.
pizzas.
Okay. Now, is everybody okay with spices? Because if you want to try and cool it down a little bit, what you could do is squirt some mayo on it, you know, just to make it nice and juicy. And that kind of softens the spices as well. So there's, you know, just, I find that a lot of kids nowadays can't eat anything without mayo and ketchup. So if that floats your boat, go for it.
Right.
So I'm just going to continue making them. Did you say you can freeze them, Mariam? Or?
Yes, you can. So if you've got cling film, you can use cling film. And you know, in some supermarkets, you can buy these discs that are burger sized. And what you would do is, and they're made of cellophane, they're pre-cut round circles that are, you would make your burger and pack it in that, put it in the freezer on a plate. And then once they're frozen, then you can just pop them out, put them in a bag, and then it takes up less room in your freezer.
Okay.
So you could just put them in a sandwich bag at the end of it, and then you've got a stash. So whenever you feel peckish and you want to have a quick snack, they're there.
Perfect.
Good.
And thank you to everybody that sent me a picture as well of your finished product last week. If you can do the same this week, it'd be great. If you're proud of whatever of your burgers.
Yeah, pictures are good.
And have you been working today, Mariam?
Yes, I finished work at 5, and in my head I was thinking, I've got 50 million things to do, but I just need to make sure I'm organised. I mean, I am pretty organised, so I knew it would be fine. But I was just, when you're doing things, and in theory it sounds wonderful, and you think, it's going to be fine, and then when you do it in practice, it's a different story. But I think so far, you guys have followed me to the T, so well done.
No, you're doing a grand job.
Oh, thank you. I'll pay you later, Trude. You're my biggest fan.
I wondered, Mariam, if you fancy sharing. So last week, Satuli just talked a little bit about what she does in Rotherham, and I know you have lots of different hats and lots of different roles in Rotherham, and I know you're going to blush a little bit here, but you are quite an inspirational woman for me.
Oh, bless you, Trudy. Honestly, you're really kind. I'm just your average Joe, but what I am proud of is I'm a proud Yorkshire woman. I'm proud to be from Rotherham. Our town has had such a bashing, and you know what? It's a good town with good people. There's good and bad everywhere, but I'm really proud to be of Rotherham. I was born in Rotherham. I was raised in Rotherham, and I'm probably going to end up being buried in Rotherham as well. So for me, our town is fantastic, and it's the people in it that make it fantastic. So I work for a children's charity, and we work with children that may have experienced, that are vulnerable, that may have experienced some form of abuse, whether it's criminal exploitation or other forms of exploitation. And I also am a chaplain at Thomas Rotherham. I'm a Muslim chaplain. So we have a multi-faith chaplaincy team at Thomas Rotherham College. And what that means is we're there for people who practice a faith and those that don't practice a faith. We're basically there as a shoulder to cry on, somebody to just listen. So, for example, a couple of years ago, a young girl was taking her exams. She was really stressed out. She just wanted somebody to be like a sounding board and share some ideas. And we talked about ways in which she might take time out, take a break, try and take the stress off her. So it's pastoral support. It's just supporting students. I do that as a volunteer. I don't get paid for it. It's something I'm really passionate about. And I've had Muslim students, non-Muslim students, English, Asian, whatever, because it's just about showing them that, you know, you care. And I've got a lot of experience working with young people because I used to be a youth worker before. So I also am involved in an organisation called Who Is Your Neighbour? And what they do is they bring groups of people together who want to talk about what's worrying them. And often what you find is it's usually something to do with foreigners or immigration or something like that. And sometimes people just want to talk about it and they don't, without being told off for saying what they're thinking. And then what happens is they create a safe space and they let people talk, and then they talk about these things and give them a chance to say what they need to say, and then discuss it with the rest of the group. And then what they find is that those things that might have frightened them before actually were just probably fueled by the media or what they'd seen on TV or they'd seen somebody do. And then people find a way of dealing with that, and that helps reduce that prejudice towards other people because the conversations are happening. And I find that really interesting because I think, you know, we have more in common than we think. So it's good to kind of talk to other people and learn more about their cultures and their religions and what they're into, what they're not. And you know, we have in the UK we have something called the Jedi faith. The Jedi faith is a international faith. It's not as well known as Christianity or Judaism or Hinduism or Islam, but it's a faith. So who am I to say to somebody, you can't follow a faith because it follows a TV program? That's not what it's about. If it's important to somebody, it's important to them. I have friends who are atheists, right? They don't believe in anything. And that's fine as well because that's their choice. And religion for me is about choice. It's what you want. It's not about trying to force somebody else. So, you know, having conversations with people is really good. One of the things I like doing as well is I get involved in some charity work. I try and do some litter picks, you know, just to make the neighbourhood better. So just wherever I can get involved, because I'm so proud to be from Rotherham, and I love the people of Rotherham. And I think that, you know, we get a bad press, but you know what? We're good people. It's a good town. I'd rather be a Rotherhamer than a Londoner. I'll tell you that for now.
I must admit, I mean, I live in Barnsley, but I do.
Oh, Barnsley. Well,
I know. Don't judge me, please. But obviously, I do work in Rotherham, and I've worked in many towns, and I must admit, and I'm not just saying this, Rotherham to me has so many good people doing so many good things. You know, lots of different organisations there, and organisations I'd never even heard of, and you know, I've met so many people that just do so much for their community. And I think one of the reasons myself and Ant wanted to bring different people on to cook was obviously so we can, you know, people can learn about other people's cultures, beliefs, faiths, etc. try different food, but also learn about the good work that people are doing in Rotherham. So, you know, like I said to Tuli last week, told us a little bit about Mama Africa and the work she does around immigration and stuff. And it's great to get you on talking about, you know, everything that you do as well.
Thank you. And that's all it is. We're all human at the end of the day, and we all, you know, we all have our ways of doing stuff. But what I always find is that we have more in common than not. I'm going to stop there because I want you to just go back to your ovens and have a look. I'm going to show you mine, so you've got an idea of, if you want to have a quick look at mine. I'm just going to, oh, hang on. Right away. Just going to turn it around. So, can you see they're starting to go like a goldeny brown around the edge?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I would do now is I would flip those. I'm going to flip them. Do you want to have a look at yours and see if you can flip them? Where's my finger?
They smell really good.
Smell lovely.
Good, I'm glad. Right, coming back. So just get them, flip them right over. Is everybody else okay so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
The flipped and back in.
And have you noticed they won't have stuck to the bottom? You know,
Mine
sometimes
aren't.
have they stuck?
No, I put them on parchment paper though.
Ah, right. Well, that works as well. You could do that.
Yeah,
if
that
you wanted.
works. None of them have stuck, so.
Good stuff. So now mine are all flipped. I'm going to close the oven back up again and just. And we'll keep doing that until they cook. So they shouldn't take too long. So hopefully they won't take that long. And what I find is that food is a great thing to bring people together. So about 8 years ago, I moved to Wickersley, and I was the only Asian on the street. I was the only Asian in the village. And I got a few looks when I first went, and people were looking at me a bit strange and probably thinking, these weirdos moving in here, you know, bringing the neighborhood down. And it was hard first because I just felt as though I was a little bit out of place. But because I am the way I am, I persevered. We moved in, got my kids with me as well. And every time a Muslim family move into a new home, they have what we call a blessing. And we invite family around, we do prayers, and then we have food together. So it's like a housewarming, but with prayers. And that day, the kids were playing in the garden. So I'd invited some of my family members. The kids were playing in the garden, and they kicked the ball over into next door neighbour's garden. Now it was an English family, just like me, and they'd got 4 kids as well. They kicked the ball over. When the kids went back to get the ball, he swore at them, unfortunately. And the kids got really upset. They came back and they were like, Mum said some really nasty things. And I said, don't worry about it. I've got a house full of people. I can't deal with it right now. I'm just going to leave it there. Now, I don't know if you remember, but in 2012, we had about 3 or 4 foot of snow. And this was, I moved into that house in I think it was October time. And by November, we'd started having some snow. And I remember it clearly because that was the year that my son was born. And what happened was I didn't say anything to the neighbours. I just ignored what happened, dealt with the family. And then a couple of weeks later, I was making some samosas. Does everybody know what samosas are? They're like the small pastries. So yeah. I was making some samosas and I made a few extra. I went next door, knocked on the door, and I said to him, I made some samosas and I thought the kids might like it. And the kids were stood behind him. His face was it was a picture. He was so shocked, thinking, I behaved really badly with them and she's giving me bloody samosas. And so the kids behind him were saying, oh, I love Indian food. I love samosas. So I'm thinking, I've done a good thing here. And then I left it with them. And then I didn't see him for a couple of days. And then it started snowing. And I couldn't get my car off the drive. Guess who came out with a shovel? Next door neighbour. He came out with a shovel. He shoveled all my snow off my drive. And after that, we became friends. And that was all thanks to the power of my samosas. I'm telling you. And you know what? They So we've got to know each other, and every time I'd made extra food, I'd drop it off, you know, because it's no trouble. It's just, you know, keeping an eye out for each other. And my religion tells me that I've got to keep an eye out for my neighbours. That's my duty. So I saw it as my duty to keep in touch with them and keep them happy and have good relations with them. And then they didn't have a trampoline. I'd got a 14-foot one outside. So then his kids used to come over and play in our garden. If we went away, they'd put our bins out, we'd put their bins out. And that's how it started. And even though I've moved away from Wickersley now, I still have a really good relationship with that family. So we keep in touch with texts and stuff. And she's always messaging me saying, I miss your food. So yeah, it does bring people together, and it should bring people together, because we're humans and we like the social aspect of getting together and having food together and just enjoying each other. And, you know, some of my fondest memories are of family gatherings and, you know, sitting with my friends and my cousins and, you know, and just having a really good time and then having good food to add to it. So yeah, food is a big part of our lives, and we should try and make the most of it, because we're very lucky. We get everything in this country. And there's people that are living on the streets. There's a lot of homeless people, and you think about them and you think, you know, we're so lucky, and yet do we appreciate it? I'm sorry, I sound like a bit of a preacher here. I should get a YouTube channel.
I think just following on from that, I think that these recent times have probably made people appreciate things, or I hope that these recent times have made people appreciate things like what you're talking about, like family and having food on your table and a roof over your head.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
definitely. It does. You know, it does make you think. After everything we've been through these past few months, I think everybody deserves a medal, because it's been really hard. There's a lot of people that are completely alone and they have nobody, and yet they're surrounded by people. How sad is that?
I know. And I had, not mentioning any names or putting anybody on the spot, but I had a couple of lovely emails sent after last week's session from a couple of participants saying that they really enjoyed the session, and some people have been shielding since March, so not been really out much or interacting with people. And I know it's online, but you know, it's nice, isn't it, to have a bit of company, especially if you live by yourself as well. I live alone, so I never cook. I'll be honest, I never cook anything from scratch. You've probably seen by me doing what I've been doing that that's the case. Because there's just me, you know, so it's easier to do something quick. So you know, I think it's great. It's lovely to be able to cook with other people and have a little bit of company.
Yeah, definitely. Do you want to check your kebabs again? See how we're doing?
I think as well, Mariam and Trudy, like, I think it's important to remember the power of conversation. It's gone over the past 10, 12 months, however it is, because I feel like everything's through social media, everything's on Zoom, you're watching stuff on the TV, and yeah, you might to have those conversations about what's going on in the world, but I can't remember the last time I came across a friend in the street and just stood and had a chat or went for a coffee with someone. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's a massive part of it.
It is a massive part of us, and yet people have done incredibly well to manage it, and it's been months and months, and it doesn't look as though it's going away anytime soon. So what we're doing is we're adapting to the environment. We're trying to get more connected online so that we can reach out to people. So it is you know, this technology is a wonderful thing, as long as it's used in the right way, that is.
No, it is. You're great. Go on, Jackie.
I switched mine back over again. Is that what you're meant to be doing?
Yes, yep, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to flip my camera.
Does it need to go in a bit longer, or?
I'm gonna have a look at mine, and I'm gonna
put mine back in a bit, because mine are quite fat.
There's not wrong with fat. It's nice and juicy. Nice and juicy. That's what they are.
I don't think they're far off.
Yeah, they won't be. I think a few more minutes, and then we're done.
Yeah.
Is everybody's looking similar to mine?
Yeah. Well, I think so.
Lovely. Sorry, did you say no, Mazdak?
No, it's okay. It's I'm waiting.
Okay.
Because it's thick one time. So
okay.
Then is
everybody else okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just going to put this down for 1 second. One thing I will say though, don't cook them and then put them in the freezer, because they never taste the same. It might be tempting to think, oh, I'll just freeze these and have them later. But honestly, they go really mushy and they're not very appetizing. Whereas if you put them frozen in the freezer and then cook them as and when you need them, it's far better. Has anybody got any questions?
No?
I'm just conscious I've been talking a lot. I can talk for England though. That's the trouble.
These samosas.
You keep breaking hands. I don't know if that's the same for everybody else, but I can only get snippets of what Ant's saying.
It's probably for the best, actually, Trude. Mariam, when do we get to see these great samosas?
That's a good question, Ant. When we're allowed to have parties, because I think what we should do after, maybe post February, all the participants should make a dish and us get together and just celebrate food, food during lockdown.
I think that's a great idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and then we can all taste each other's, can't we?
Yeah.
Have like a big, what do you call it? What's the word where everybody brings certain dishes?
Yeah, you can nibble on mine, I'll nibble on yours.
Trude, beans on toast doesn't count.
Mine are a little bit thin and small, so I think they're done. So I'm going to take them out.
Okay. If you kind of cut one in half, you'll see that it will have cooked through.
Okay.
Because it's chicken, it doesn't need to be dark brown. It just needs to be cooked.
I think it's done.
When one is cooked.
Is it cooked, Rubina?
Yeah, it just cooked.
Oh, wow. Look at yours. Hey, we've got a finished product. Look at that. Bloody hell.
No, I just put in the grill.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Have you tried one?
No, I will now. Because I never put ketchup in these.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does it taste okay?
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah? The kids will enjoy them, I hope.
Yeah, I just made another batch making kebabs today.
Oh, wow.
I'm doing 2 jobs.
Mariam.
Oh, wow. Look at Tyra's.
Yeah, I just go put in
The kids have just one each.
Yeah.
Oh, they look a lot different to mine. How's yours doing, Ant?
Yeah, they're all right. I just need to put them a bit longer, a bit soft in the middle.
Okay. Mazdak, how are yours coming on?
Actually, it would be ready in 2 minutes something. I will show you is after it's ready,
Wonderful.
because I checked it just recently. It's just minutes ago.
Wonderful.
So it will be okay in 1 minute. I will show you.
These, they might not look the best, but they taste absolutely amazing.
Yay! we got the thumbs up. It's just something different. That's all it is. It's a change from the norm.
Mm.
Jackie, how are you doing?
1 more minute, I think, for mine. Just
One
a
more
minute more, I think, and I'm
fine.
there.
That's fine. Is everybody else okay?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
like in Subways, you can get that chicken salad.
Yep.
In a bowl. If you wanted to save a bit of money, you could make some kebabs and just chop them up into pieces and toss them in a salad, stick them in a bowl, and that's your lunch. You know, it's just however you want to make it work for you.
No, they're delicious. They're so tasty. Better than a normal burger for me. I like rice as well. Could you put chilies in them? Fresh chilies?
Yeah, you could. Normally, I would. So if you go to any Asian shops to get your meat or anything
this
like
is
that.
mine. It's nice.
Oh wow!
Suzuki, actually, yeah.
Nice and brown. They're lovely. That's a lovely colour.
Yeah, it's good.
Well done.
The taste is good also.
Oh, good. I'm
I
glad.
don't know if you're going to be able to see that.
Come on, Jackie. Let's see yours.
I'll put them on a plate. I'll tell you what, I'll put them on a.
If yours are cooked, guys, and you're serving them up and eating them with your family or you're eating them yourself, don't feel like you have to stick around either. You can shoot off if they're going cold. I can see Tyra's looking starving, so.
Trudy, I've still got all these to make.
Oh my God.
And I've got something grilled.
Well, you've got my number, haven't you?
I have, yeah. Pop round anytime.
Are we ready?
Yeah. Oh wow. They look good.
Oh, they look lovely then.
They look like a proper burger. And
Yeah, they look like a proper. Yeah.
They'll go lovely. They'll go lovely in a burger bun.
Well, it's going in a pita with some salad now.
Oh, lovely.
So we'll give you a shot of the. Let's have a look.
Becky, is that you on the bottom left? I've got a lady called Becky. They look really good.
It says, I don't like the camera on. I'm doing it in my pajamas.
Fine. Have you had a taste?
Yes,
There we
they're very
go.
nice. I think the children are going to like them as well. And they're very
Wonderful.
pigmented.
That looks great,
Mine's
Jackie.
gone in a
That
pita with
Looks
salad.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing, Jackie. Have a good bite and tell us what you
I
think.
don't know, right? Let me just take this other one out before. Yeah. That's hot. Jeff, we shout Bolton. Ooh, that's hot.
Mine are done as well.
Mick, are you still there, Mick? Have yours come out all right?
Yeah. Don't know if you can see him or not.
Let's have a look.
Where are we? Where's Mick?
No, it's me.
Can't see him.
It's in the video. No?
Yeah, a little bit more, Mick. There we are. We can see one.
Oh, they look nice, Mick.
It tastes lovely as well.
Oh, good. I'm glad they
Thanks
got
for-
that all right.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry, I've
Beautiful.
got a big gob. I need to just keep my gob shut sometimes.
I'm just quiet. I'm listening at a talking.
Best kind of bloke that is, I tell you.
There we go, look. This is mine.
Oh, wonderful.
And I have a young man coming down in a minute who's from the Rotherham Academy because I'm a house parent.
Right.
That's his tea for tonight.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So
I hope he
hopefully
enjoys
he'll
it. I hope he enjoys it.
Oh, we've got a message as well from Debbie. Let me have a look. It says, perfect. We'll send a picky through. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed the session.
Oh, thank you.
So I think people
Been
are
great.
Inside.
Okay, I done also. This is my time.
Oh,
Where's Mazdak? There.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful. Good colour. That's a good colour, that Mazdak.
Is it good?
It is.
Yeah, but I have a question. Is the thin is better or thick one? Which one better?
For the burgers, if you were going to serve it as a starter, I would say make them thinner.
Okay.
But if you're going to put it in a burger, I would say make them a little bit thicker. So you've got a nice juicy burger.
Right. So which one you use for yourself? It was thick, right?
I tend to make them a little bit thicker.
All right.
So I don't know if you can see.
If you're still hungry afterwards, I'll give you a pizza.
Don't know if you can see. That's the thickness of mine.
Right.
So that's how thick I would make mine. If you make them thinner, they tend to dry out.
Okay, yeah.
So your best bet is to make them thicker. Thicker.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, the taste is very good also. I checked it. The taste is good.
I'm glad.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, they spent one and I don't know already one.
You all get a blue Peter badge. Well done.
Thank you. Has anybody else got any questions for Miriam before we let everybody go and enjoy their food?
No, thank you.
I think we're all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before I go, you're welcome. Thank you. Before I go, if you're feeling adventurous and you want to do a rice dish, I make a cracking biryani. It's quite easy to do, and I'm saying that it is easy to do. But the rice dish is amazing. You'll be shocked at yourself. So I could maybe one day. Who knows? We'll see.
We will definitely have you back, Mariam. You know that.
Good stuff. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. Take care, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. Thank you.
You as well. Bye.
Have a good day.
Enjoy your